Can Derek Brunson get his long-awaited middleweight title shot with the win over Jared Cannonier? Find out what the fighters are thinking in the latest edition of MMA Pros Pick.
Bronson definitely has the advantage in the wrestling area, but Cannonier in the stand-up, tricky one to call actually. But maybe Cannonier will take that one. Yeah.
Funny story. Me and Derek Brunson used to hate each other. We had a lot of beef back in the day. I think we were just young. In the same weight class, fighting for the same thing, fighting for those spots. And it's been really cool to watch him. It's been fun to mature alongside of him, set those aside and now root for each other. Because we're kind of the last couple guys from Strikeforce. I don't know who else is left, but there's not a lot of us Strikeforce guys left. So I'm always rooting for Derek Brunson and he's got the skills and abilities to beat Cannonier. You can't stand in front of a guy like that for too long, unless you're a super high level striker. And Derek's absolutely got knockout power. We've seen him do it time and time again. There's no secret what he's good at. He needs to get to the body, get to those legs, be heavy on top, and that's kind of his path to victory. He's gonna have to be safe early, and he's gonna have to figure out a way to take some heat off of Jared Cannonier, because you can't let that guy just bounce around super fresh in front of you for an entire fight. You gotta take some of his edge off, and there's no one better to do that than Derek Brunson. If he gets a hold of you, the dude's insanely strong. He's extremely capable on top. Excited to see if Derek can kind of cap off this win streak and get himself a title shot. But Jared Cannonier is no punk. He's going to be tough to deal with.
I like them both. I think they both have avenues to victory, but the easier avenue is Jared Cannonier. Like he hits like a heavyweight because he used to be a heavyweight. And I think he has defensive grappling. Like he's not an offensive wrestler, but I think he knows enough at this stage of his career, and he seems like a smart fighter. I met him once or twice. We did a meet and greet together and got to speak with him. He seems smart. I think he knows Brunson wants to wrestle. He knows that. He knows he has to close the distance with like heavy punches. Like he knows Brunson's going to shoot, so it's almost going to be like me versus Derek Lewis. Like one guy wants to wrestle, one guy just wants to strike. Jared, I think he's going to be able to find that knockout shot.
Man, both of those guys are awesome. Definitely look up to both of them. Definitely hope I can fight, them at some point. But I think it's Blonde Brunson all the way. I think the wrestling is going to be the great equalizer. Jared Cannonier obviously has the knockout power, the conditioning. He's strong as hell. But I think Brunson will be able to mix him up a little bit more easier. And I think it'll be either a decision or he'll stop him on the ground via strikes or submission.
That's a really fun fight. That's a really fun fight. Once again, Cannonier, used to be a heavyweight, used to knock people out at heavyweight. Obviously, he's got dynamite in his hands. Another explosive dude. With that being said, Derek Brunson, you know what I'm saying? The grappling is making a big comeback in the UFC. You know what I mean? Like you're seeing people really dominate and win fights with their grappling, and Derek Brunson is, just grappling his face off right now. You know what I'm saying? He's taking everybody down. He's controlling everybody. He's beating all these guys up. So Cannonier, I think is going to be a little bit more of the same, but it's one of those things where I could see Cannonier knocking Brunson's head off. Like Brunson has not shown the greatest striking defense in the world. So, I want to go to have like a run. I'm picking Brunson. But, the hesitation is on the fact that, he does get hit and Cannonier hits pretty hard. So I'm taking Brunson, but it's definitely one that's going to be fun to watch.
I'll take Cannonier just because, I think he's a little bit sharper, and he looked really, really good in his last few fights. Despite, the result, I felt like he looked really good. I think that, he's a contender at that weight class.
I think Cannonier beats him. It depends. Is it blonde Brunson or regular Brunson? That adds a little factor to it. I think Cannonier gets him. I think he's going to be hard to take down. I think he just hits too hard. I think he has too much power for Brunson to be able to stand with him.
Cannonier is a strong powerhouse type of dude. So it'll be interesting to see if Brunson's able to get him to the ground and control him like he usually does. And that's going to be the key. If Brunson can do that, I got Brunson 100%. If Cannonier can start shucking off those takedowns and keep it on the feet, I think he's got the ability to win that fight. So, it just depends if Brunson can get him down or not. Probably Brunson.
Derek Brunson's been hot too. I'm gonna take Brunson. I think he's a little bit more well-rounded. I think he'll use his wrestling really well against Cannonier. Obviously Cannonier's a beast, but I think Brunson takes it.
I think Cannonier. Actually, I take that back. I think Brunson's wrestling actually can probably steer him to a win.
Brunson has been on a tear. Cannonier's big and powerful, but a little slow. Brunson's got the power, he's got the wrestling, and he's got the conditioning. So I'm taking Brunson, but it's a fun fight. I'm excited to see how it plays out.
With that original flow, head kicks with the pros, picks at the fights or anything in the mix. Getting closer to the heart of the flame, bringing conversations with heavy hitting names. You feel the love of the game.